Hey there, Storm fans. Bryant Cook. Today we're playing a donation deck from Vito. Vito, thank you. Vito loved our last video where I talked about how I've considered a silence-based list to help beat Mindbreak Trap and things like Stifle. So this is a white The Epic Storm list, and a lot of it looks pretty similar, as it should. The difference is no Veil of Summer, and instead we're trying Silence today. Do I think Silence is better than Veil of Summer? Probably not. But it does beat a few of the cards that the Epic Storm is struggling with right now. So Silence takes care of those, but you have to adjust the mana base. So essentially, we're running the same mana base, switched. Essentially swapping green sources for white sources. You might be asking yourself, Bryant, wasn't the last mana base designed for Abrupt Decay? Sort of, but it's also just like a really even mana base. When you look at it, you have three blue sources, three black sources, three red sources, which matters for pulverize, and then two white. And the white sources aren't as important as everything else. So the main deck should look pretty similar. In the board, Monastery Mentor, a favorite card of mine. Um, just something I wanted to try today. In theory, these could be Teferis. The problem with Teferi is that the matchups you want it for, they're also boarding in Pyroblast. So, like, do you really want to be boarding in a 3 mana card that gets hit by Pyroblast that you don't really want to reveal to ad nauseum? Probably not. I'm not even sure if Mentor is any good. I just thought it'd be fun to play because it's white. No Abrupt Decay, so we are seeing Chain of Vapor and Echoing Truth. Everything looks pretty standard. And then down here, a spicy hidden Caracas. So Caracas is a card that I always want to play it in the Epic Storm and then never do. I'm using this white list as a justification because it can cast Silence. It's great with Wishclaw. 1 mana, go bounce Thalia. Like, oh yeah, I'm in. So that's the list for today. If you have any questions or suggestions, maybe you know of a sweet white card that should be in the list. I considered Fragmentize over one of the Chain of Vapors because Fragmentize can blow up Deafening Silence or Ley Lines. I just don't know how often you're going to Burning Wish for Fragmentize. Um, you know what? Today is a fun donation deck league. Let's play it. Why not? Well, let's play the Fragmentize. We'll run one less chain. Okay, so the Crocus is hidden down here now. But let's do this. Why not? We'll play the fun of. And if you're interested in playing your own donation deck, theepicstorm.com/donation decks, Vito went there. Vito signed up with the form on this page and signed up for the base tier. So if you're interested, there's 3 different tiers. You can go to this page and read all about them. Make sure to read the disclaimer before you sign up. And yeah, you can see your deck here on this YouTube channel. But I'm ready to play some Magic. I haven't silenced anyone in years, like actual years. 2014 probably. Let's do it. Round 1. We're on the draw. We are facing Tired Papa Smurf. I have no clue what they're playing, but this hand seems reasonable. It has built-in protection due to the duality of Echo of Aeons. We're going to try this. Tarn. I'm going to lead off on Tundra. Maybe we'll get them to cantrip a little differently. Maybe they'll think that we're a control deck or something like that. Alright, so it looks like Grixis Control. Silence! More silence! Let's get rid of... I don't know if we need 3 of them. I can't help but wonder if there's like a good 5-color list that plays both Silence and uh, Veil of Summer. Like, I think you have to run Gemstones again in order to make that work. But I think you lose things like Massacre and Pulverize, so it might not be worth it in the long run. And there are the Strix. Silence, a card near and dear to my heart. I think it's actually been since 2014 since I've played these. I could be wrong, but I know that's when I stopped playing Silence in the Epic Storm, and I've never really looked back. Grindstone. We're facing a Brew. Rite of Flame's a little awkward here. The jig is up. Pitching Emery. Okay. So even if our opponent plays a Painter Servant here, they don't have the mana to activate Grindstone, so they would need something like Ancient Tomb, Lion's Eye Diamond, multiple copies of Lotus Petal. I think more likely we would actually see like Painter Servant, Hold Open, Pyroblast. Was Papa Smurf a painter? I don't know. I've never really watched the Smurfs before my time. I am old, just not that old. Okay, so no fetch land. Goblin Engineer, that's a fetch land. Opal's okay. I don't mind that as a draw. Silence! Alright, this is our window. Our one shot, our one opportunity. I can't help but think I'm supposed to ponder here, because if I hit Burning Wish or Tendrils, I just win. Alright, I'm going to take the LED. Crack for blue. Ayy! Gun noises like Yeah, something like that. We got it. We have taken game number 1. Our opponent said, good game. Yeah, I mean, silence is a fun card. Um, I don't think we want our Monastery Mentor plan against this Painter deck with Baleful Strix. Um, Honestly, I don't think we're supposed to board. Like, you could board an Echoing Truth, but those get hit by Pyroblast. It looks like they're a little bit more on the controlling route anyway, so I'm just going to take the risk that they don't have anything too good against us. And if you would like to support this content, you already know where to go. theepicstorm.com/shop. Get a bunch of sweet The Epic Storm merchandise there. Talking's difficult. One of my personal favorite items is the Storm 20 baseball tee and the pint glass. In fact, I'm going to grab a drink right now. All right. So let's play game number 2. This hand's very good. We're going to try this. Yeah. We were playing the best dual land of them all, Plateau, which means that this deck has to be sweet. We're playing Plateau and Badlands. Like, come on. This deck is fucking awesome. I think if like 2014 Bryant could see this deck list, he would say like, wow, you figured out a way to run 4 colors without gemstone. Because that's something I struggled with for a long time in that time period. Okay. So this is a situation where silence is a little more awkward than um, other cards because it's not like we can protect grid with silence. Like, you don't want a double protection spell just to protect. Um, wow, they hit blindside diamond. Okay. Sure. But like, if we could have veiled there, it would have been a major blowout. There has to be a way. Like, maybe I'm just not smart enough to figure it out yet. But I feel like there has to be a way to run 5-color TES with Veil and Silence. And that could fix the Stifle and Mindbreak issues. I just don't know. And I don't want Gemstone Mines on Moto. And I'll be honest with you, I've been on such a bad losing streak that I can't afford Gemstone Mines. Oh, I shouldn't have F6. They just got me. So I would bottom Wish Claw. Alright, so we're setting up... Oh no, I can't cast... that was a mistake. I can't actually cast... Well, I guess I can go get Echo right now. Not playing well. I shouldn't have F6 because they had, like... They had no reason to be able to steal my Lotus Petal. Like, I should have been not lazy. Oh, they're playing that card, huh? Can't ever beat that. Your Forcible Karn deck. I don't really want to board those cards in. Alright, I'm just going to pretend the Kern doesn't exist. Like, those aren't cards I really want in my deck. Sure. A little awkward with our mana. Really wish that this pedal was like a Mox Opal. Unfortunately, we can't keep this. It just doesn't work with what we have. We could draw a Burning Wish. That'd be terrific. So another problem with running like a Veil silence list is that right now we run 4 Veil 2 grid. You could run like 4 Veil 2 silence or 3 and 3, but then you're losing an artifact for Mox Opal, which is a little awkward. So like you're running more colors, which Mox Opal would benefit from, but then you're cutting artifacts that turn on Opal. And I do think like if you're interested in that sort of list, maybe you don't run Rite of Flame, so there's less reliance on red, and then maybe you run more like Chromox and Opals. Basically, you want Opal to be the best it can be because that acts as another gemstone mine. So I'm not sure. Like, I don't know. I should probably just focus on the match. I used to love the upkeep silence walk on my opponent. Uh, Back after an empty, and we're about to lose. Yep. Terrific magic card. Uh, yep. I'm about to concede. I just want to see what my draw step would have been. Alright, turn 2 slow. We're going to start this off 0-1. Okay. Match number 2. Just so you know, I'm not going to bother looking up what our opponents are playing because I'm not putting these results into my spreadsheet. Like, Silence TES isn't, like... I understand I'm playing TES, but it's not really, like, a list that I would normally play. So I'm treating this as any other donation deck. Opponent is mulligan to 4. Well, what are they on? I do like that draw. Like, seeing Silence just brings me back to, like, 2013. When that card was just bananas. All of the rug decks ran 4 Stifle and 4 Spell Snare, and Silence used to just slice right through them. Now that we have an extra Wish Claw, I don't mind playing this out. What are they doing? Jigs up. Honestly, this list should probably have one Veil in it. Just because like its interaction with Wish Claw is just that good. Maybe I'll try a gemstone inspired list at some point. I don't know. Not the best Nas so far. Jeez. Um, I realized I could have stopped there. You don't need to leave a comment. It's fine. And then by that I mean like I could have stopped and cantripped or just like passed the turn. I'm well aware. I'm aware. I'm not gonna sideboard. We are one mana away from winning. Your odds of hitting a mana there are much higher than revealing Echo, like considerably higher. So that's why I flipped. Um, it's safer to stop, but like we also gave our opponent a claw. Like I don't know what exactly they're playing, and I just thought it'd be better for me to keep on flipping. I realize that obviously that doesn't look correct, but too late to fix it now. And if you like watching me lose, make sure that you subscribe to all of our social networks so you can continue watching me lose. I've been doing a lot of it recently, so there will be plenty of great punting content. Okay, game two. Sure. I'm going to try to keep around the delta so that way I can brainstorm fetch next turn. Okay, well, they're probably not playing a blue deck if all that resolved. They didn't mold it to 4 this game. Or they just sound like, oops, all spells and I'm going to get bodied. Yep. The silence could have been very, very good. And instead, I have this defense grid. Ah, shit. Turns out me going for it was definitely correct, though, because me giving them a claw and passing likely would have led to my own death. I can't imagine that we're still alive. They kept the 7 and just went like land go. Uh, We are 0-2. Womp womp. Alright, so we're on the draw. I don't think we can keep this hand. It just doesn't do enough, I think. Okay. See if we can actually try to win a match here. Well, now bottoming Burning Wish looks really dumb. I still think you're supposed to keep Ad Nauseam over Burning Wish. Hey, we drew one anyway. Really looking for a second land. Opponent's likely playing Miracles. And there's Narset. Not really a card we wanted to see. Spell Pierce. Yikes. I'm just gonna try to empty. I don't imagine that any of this is going to resolve. And we're gonna show them what we're playing. And I like cracking for blue because it gives you a small advantage in my opinion. People think you're trying to like echo or something, and then you just goblins. So we've lost game one against Miracles, and so far, I mean, today's not been my day. Uh, so we're gonna bring in these Monastery Mentors. Maybe a chain for like Deafening Silence. Or maybe like our plan is to just like mentor win. I don't know. Let's try this. Why not? All right, game two on the play. Sure. We look like a Mardu deck splashing Brainstorm. All right. Person's playing a little slowly. It's kind of irritating. I'm just not in a good mood today. You can forgive me. Or don't. Hold it against me. That's fine too. Um, I have to imagine that the white splash is cheaper than the green splash. Oh no, there it is. I'm gonna try to Burning Wish for Thoughtseize and then play Mentor next turn. Oh, I hope that this works. Alright, so Burning Wish 8 of Force there. I would really love to get a Monastery Mentor win. That sounds awesome. So one downside of not playing green is no Abrupt Decay. But hopefully that won't matter. Please resolve, please resolve, please resolve, please resolve. Hey! So just a thought, and I know that's not what the card says, but I think if you own a swamp and a plains, Massacre should always be free. Just throwing that out there. I think that sounds like a very fair rule. I don't think there's any pitch cards that white opens up that we'd want to play. Like Abolish isn't good enough. I don't know if there's any others that are even close to playable. They left in swords? That's very rude. They're putting force on top? Sure. They have to have like a brainstormer or predict or something. Uh, I don't know if they would have telegraphed that otherwise. Holding control, because I would like to be able to empty here. Turn that monk into a 5/5. We are Mardu tokens. That was fun. Run it back. Alright, well, that made up for the first 2 rounds a little bit. Great hand. Lotus Petal would be something you were looking to draw there. I think I'm just going to try to Ritual Grid. Because if Grid resolves, we can Echo. Like, I just don't want to get counterbalanced. So I think because we don't have Decay, we have to play it a little bit more aggressively. I can play another Grid. I don't know if that's even something I want to do. Probably not. Because I can just play another one next turn without sacrificing my Petal. Okay, so that's going to shut off half of our tutors most likely. All right. So we don't have any ways in our deck of getting rid of the Meddling Mage other than Combat Math with Mentor. And the Uro that they have is going to slowly shut off us building up to a Lethal Tendrils. We'd like to find something like Brainstorm to fix up our hand. We're definitely not out of this yet, but we need some help. Grid is doing work. I think I'd be more like I might try to brainstorm up a 5-color list, but it'd be nice if there was like another white card worth playing, and I'm just not sure if there is. Fuck your counterbalance. just really hard for this list to be counterbalance. With Veil of Summer, you can... Veil of Summer actually stops counterbalance as long as it resolves. And then you have Decay. We are in trouble. I think the real thing that I'd want is like for Wear Terror to be a flex card with sorcery. Like if I don't know, Tear was sorcery, then we could Burning Wish for it, and that would be a bananas wish target. Um, but unfortunately, both halves are instant. Like I would be so thrilled if Wear Terror had one half that was a sorcery. And our opponent has forgotten how to use the attack step. So while we wait, I'd like to thank Vito again for signing up for a donation deck. I understand that this league isn't going super well, but I do appreciate your support. And it's always fun to play old cards again. Like, I spent years playing Silence. Love that card. Silence, Orm's Chant. I actually have my Stormbinder right here because I was looking up white cards that I could possibly play. Where is it? These are all the playable white cards that I have. So you can see my chants underneath my silences. Not a whole lot of playable white storm cards. Like you could play Teferi, but I have that under the multicolor section. They've remembered. Sad. Alright, so we're taking 8 here. We're going to go to 4, and then we get one more draw step. Alright, so they've figured out how to attack with 2 creatures, arrow triggers. So we get tendrils for 6. That doesn't even keep us alive because I have to veg twice. So we're officially 0-3 with white tea, yes. Womp womp. Okay, let's see if we can turn this around and get 50 play points. Sure. I think the green cards are just so crucial to TS at this point. Like, I didn't board in Echoing Truth or Chain of Vapor that round because how bad they are against blue decks. And, like, you could run something like Wipe Away, I suppose, but then that card's really bad against Death and Taxes. And we're apparently getting stifled. Sure. That's how it is. Excuse me. I probably shouldn't have gotten Tundra. I probably should have gotten C there. But I suppose this is the one matchup where we wanted to test Stifle. Or test, oh, come on. Whatever the fuck it's called. Silence. Taking 5 here, going to 12. We're going to draw a Ponder that we can't cast. And we're going to draw Opal, which we can use to cast the cantrips. So here we're going to fall to 7. Assuming our opponent doesn't have a red source, we would get another turn, but if they have a red source, we're dead to the revealed bolt. It's a Ponder. Just either Spell Pierce it or don't. Can we actually do something here? I guess we're going to lose to Daze if we decide to peer. But if this resolves, we win. Hey, resolved! Boom! Stifle nerd. Why don't you silence yourself? Just shut up. Just for, you know, safe measures. And because they're a dirty Stifle player, we're going to grape shot them. Because they deserve it. We could kill both their creatures, but I don't feel like clicking. Alright. That was a win. I don't think we board. I don't think you really want to be boarding in Mentor versus the Bolt deck with Daze. That's also trying to attack your mana. Yikes. Alright, is this the round that we win? If we win, I think that you should consider a donation deck for this YouTube channel. Obviously, you don't have to. It's fine. But this is just a friendly reminder that we do offer them here. This is a donation deck from Vito. And if you want to support this content, it's a great way of doing it. You can also go to theepicstorm.com/shop and get yourself a t-shirt, or what I would recommend, the token pack, to help you start storming. It's great for all levels of competitiveness in my opinion. I use them at high level events. You can use them at your kitchen table. They're good everywhere. You get 54 tokens for $12. Nope. Yikes. I think we'll be going to game 3 shortly. So, in a world where everything goes right for us, we could ponder into Burning Wish, resolve grid, and set up an echo. This is actually kind of similar. Like, I don't think we're going to win this, but there's an outside shot that we could, so might as well play. Okay. So this probably means that they have a bunch of forces in their hand. Get our lovely plateau. Gonna force a diamond? Resolve. Resolve. There's something nice about the way that Underground Sea looks next to Plateau. Force pitch force, huh? This looks like a monkey if I had to guess. There it is. So we're looking to draw a silence. We're going to play Wishclaw and then pray to draw silence. That's probably our shot at winning this. No reveal again to the Delver. So they have one card. Is it a Pyroblast? It is not a Pyroblast. So if they flip Delver next turn, I think I'm supposed to just activate Claw, and if it's Stifle, it's Stifle. It's not Stifle. So now we're taking a wild Echo chance here. Okay. LED silence, come on. Not quite. We lose to the slightest of breezes here. Looks like they have Stifle. Alright, so we lost this game. There's still game 3. Not bad for a mulligan to 4. That's a wild game. And if you're not subscribed to us, you probably should be. The Eternal Glory podcast. Brian Koval, Phil Gallagher, and myself. We talk legacy. We talk about metagame analysis to, overall game theory. And our personal lives, a bunch of cool stuff. So check out the Eternal Glory podcast. You won't regret it. We're available on all major podcast platforms. Okay, let's try to get a win here. Game 3, we're on the play. Unfortunately, cannot keep that. If they're not applying pressure, we don't have to do anything. I know that some players start to get a little afraid that they need to cast spells because they don't have the longevity in the game. I think if they're just willing to play draw go, they're shutting off their dazes and stuff slowly. I don't really want to expose the Tundra to Wasteland. I could have played it out there, chose not to. It's also a reasonably good card to put back off of Brainstorm here. Spell Pierce. Okay, so now they're speeding up their clock a little bit. I think I'm going to fire off one of these Brainstorms on their end step. Okay, let's see if we can actually do something. That could have been better. Mana is actually one of our biggest choke points. Okay, so I guess we're going to fire off a third brainstorm. Okay, let's see what we can do. They know that we know that they have a spell pierce. I don't know how much that impacts their decision making. I wish that there was like a sorcery speed stifle. Or not stifle, silence. Because I'd probably play that. We are dead to double bolt here if they kept it in. This a Veil of Summer? Ugh. It's gross. I think I'm probably dead in the water here. Pitching spell pierce. Yep. And now we attempt to Wish Claw and we get stifled. Alright, so we're not technically dead. Like, they would need a bolt to kill us here, but it's pretty likely. And they found it. We're 0-4. I don't know if I've had, like, yesterday I recorded a league with a blue-green Twiddlestorm deck. I don't know if I've ever gone 0-4 in back-to-back days. Or in general. I usually don't play leagues out that deep if I'm like 0-3 or whatever. But let's see if maybe we can win round number 5. All right, so we are on the play against Into Play. They typically play Cloudpost. I just don't think that this is a keep. A little too like the silences are dead cards. This hand's garbage. Sure. We have an interesting choice to make. And I think it's actually putting away the land. This means that we're 1 mana away from hard casting Echo. rather than needing to draw the land, needing to draw an artifact for Opal. This looks like a chalice. Normally the Cloudpost decks don't play chalice. At least the mono green variants that Into Play plays. Yep. But this must be a newer experimental list. Might as well play these out. So if I had bottomed the ritual, we'd have 2 lands in play. It could just be colorless post, maybe. Like, Into Play might not be playing green for once. Who knows? Makes winning very difficult. Still possible, but very difficult. Alright, so there is green. And I'm going to concede to that. Okay, so Into Play plays Mind Breaks and Force of Vigor, so I'm definitely keeping the silences. I think we can probably get rid of the grids. And I'll bring in the bounce spells. Maybe board out the Tendrils. Tendrils is a way of beating Chalice on too. Let's try that. Alright, there's a reasonable chance I go 0-5 for the first time. Ugh, I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that does not happen. Okay. Sure. Getting Volk because of Pulverize. Okay, so this is a turn 2 ad nauseum with silence backup. Assuming that we don't get chaliced or anything like that. Nice Mindbreak Trap. You've been silenced. Just accept it. Hit your F6. Come on. You cannot cast spells. Alright, so we're going to win this one. Okay, they've decided to concede. Alright, so we're on the draw for game 3. Hopefully it goes just as well as game 2. And I'm just letting our opponent know if we do happen to win game 3, I'm going to concede. There's no reason to deny someone play points when we can't get any ourselves. They can name our marsh flats. I wonder if they'll still name Claw. Probably not. Interesting. Looks like we have a turn 1 Echo with Silence backup. Are they going to force a Vigor my Diamond here? Okay. Well, that was wild. Opponent tanking here. Trying to figure out the right number to chalice on, maybe? Don't need to go get pulverized yet. Don't really want any of those. Lady was a good draw. We can also just build into pier if that's something we're interested in. Something we could do is upkeep silence our opponent. We kind of need our silences right now to be protection from Mindbreak, but if we draw a second silence, I would really consider doing that. Interesting. They're going for the beatdown. Main deck Echo is gone. I think I'm supposed to just shuffle this. Oh, come on, deck. Flooding out a little bit here. Our opponent is down to 14, so we can start to look at natural tendrils for lethal. It's just, we need more spells. And we've drawn a lot of lands. This Wishclaw Talisman does represent one spell at the cost of 2 mana, which is kind of steep. Right now we have barely enough mana to go Silence Burning Wish LED Tendrils. Here comes the Pump on Ballista, so we're going to go to 14. I'd love to draw Brainstorm. Was that good enough? So this is 5, 6. So Silence, Dark Rit, Claw. So this basically is just, it's still 1 open mana. Yeah, that should do it. Alright, so technically we're going to defeat into play here. I'm going to put Tendrils in the stack and then concede. So we went 0 and 5, technically 1 and 4. And this was the list. I think honestly the Fragmentize would have been better as Chain of Vapor. Like this sort of slot just doesn't get a lot of use. I got to put that back in because I'll be using this list for the export for what is it called? Goldfish. But yeah, so this was Silence TES. Obviously, things didn't go that well. Let's not pretend that they did. I do think Silence is interesting because there we got to just completely bypass Mindbreak Trap and Force of Vigor, which is really nice. So who knows? Maybe there's a list that exists where you cut Rite of Flame. You don't play Grid. Why am I doing this? I have to export this later. But maybe there's a list where you like cut those cards. Why did I add those to the sideboard? I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. But maybe you can cut those cards, play Veil alongside of Silence, play more artifacts so that way you can keep your opal count high enough to support 5 colors. Maybe run some gemstone mines. It might exist. Like, it might be possible. That's all I'm trying to say. Hopefully you at least enjoyed this video. I know that, you know, 05s aren't terrific or anything. But thanks for watching. If you have any suggestions for White the Epic Storm, make sure to leave them in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. I really do mean that. Our numbers are down a little bit this month for subscriptions, so I would appreciate that. And hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.